Did you know that because there's always someone pregnant in the world, the average number of skeletons is always more than one inside a human body?
What?
I just thought I'd start with something freaky.
Did you know there are more submarines in the... No, wait. There are more planes in the sea than submarines in the air.
That would make a lot of sense. It's harder to shoot down submarines because when they die they float belly up into the clouds, right?
Well, that's the thing with submarines, is because they're all stealthy, so you can't see them in the sky.
Ah, of course. They submerged under the clouds. Or over
For
the
any
clouds.
of you wondering what car crash of a conversation you've just joined in, welcome to the Words From Our Mouths podcast.
This is
with
the
me,
Words
James,
From Our Mouths podcast with him, James.
and him, Pete.
Yes, and I'm Pete. This is a rocky start,
That
James.
was a really slick start.
Yeah.
We are so professional at this.
All right, let's go
Podcasting
straight into
malarkey.
things. How the hell have you been the past 8 days it's been now? 8, that's right, not a week, 8 days. Because it was somebody else's fault that we didn't record on the original day.
While telling you that I wasn't able to record yesterday, while still editing yesterday's or last week's podcast, I was going over the point, as I messaged you saying I can't do tonight, it was me having a go at you for not being able to do last Monday. And I was like, fuck's sake, the irony.
Well, I knew it
And
would
also,
come.
for those wondering why the podcast is going up late, because it will probably be going up today, because it's currently rendering as we speak, I got addicted to a new Minecraft mod pack and just lost my weekend.
And when he says today, he means obviously a week ago yesterday or something like that. Because by the time you hear
When it goes
this,
up on when it goes up in the evening on the 16th, which is the time we're recording, this should hopefully go live on Sunday, whatever the fucking date is, 21st?
I don't know. It's the other one that has to schedule the uploads now.
I think it's the 21st because the 22nd is the Monday and that's when Farming Sim comes out.
Oh, and you've settled around some time for that, haven't you? You've got yourself a nice chunk of time off work to do some work.
No, I haven't. I'm hopefully having this Saturday off.
Oh, that'd be nice for you. What are you doing?
It's my sister's birthday, so we're going to go and get drunk.
That sounds dreadful.
It does actually. I don't want to go get drunk.
Well, don't.
I don't want to go outside.
You're an adult. You get to choose.
Yeah, but I want to make my sister happy.
Again, you're an adult. You get to choose. I don't try and make people
No,
happy.
you don't. No, you don't. You don't fully get to choose.
I do.
And I'm not an adult. Don't lie to me like that.
Ask anyone who knows me whether I choose whether I go to these social gatherings or not.
But you're not an adult.
That's a very good point.
You're not a functioning adult anyway.
Are any of us really functioning? What's normal, James?
I didn't say normal, I said functioning.
But what's normal? What counts as a functioning adult?
Someone who can be bothered to get up for work and gets all the stuff planned that they wanted to do and doesn't spend all the time sat on the computer.
That could be a serial killer, though. They get up, they go and do a great job at work. They don't spend the time sat at the computer because they're out stalking the next victim.
I mean, are you admitting to being a serial killer?
I can neither confirm nor deny any sort of allegation there. What I'm saying is that still doesn't cover normal, does it?
Nothing's normal.
You're not normal, that's for sure.
Because nothing's normal, I'm a thing. I'm a big thing.
You are a big thing. I'm given to believe anyway. Again, this is something I've covered before. I'm not 100% sure what you look like.
I could look like a badger.
I hope you look
I'm
like a
actually a squirrel.
badger. A badger in a banana costume. That's what you are now.
We've got the dangly bit of the banana.
Yep, that's filled with like car keys and open bottles of Jack Daniels or something.
My car keys are in my hand. Well, they're in my pocket and they're now in my hand.
Why are you jingling your car keys? This is not good for people's ears.
You said about car keys, I got the car keys out.
Monkey hear, monkey do. Is that a thing?
Yes. Don't start talking about my penis, because that's coming out as well.
Oh dear, no. Okay, right. I've stopped recording. That's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. You get 4 minutes.
End of the podcast. So how have you been this week anyway? What have you been doing?
I'm off work currently. So
Slacker.
yeah, well, exactly.
See, you're not normal, you're not going to work.
Well, no, I do normally. I'm off this
Weren't you
week.
off work like 2 weeks ago?
Okay, I was, yeah, because I had my oldest son down for the week. That was fantastic. This week I booked off because Charlotte and I would book this week off for her birthday, but she changed jobs and therefore ended up working this week anyway. So I guess I'm celebrating her birthday alone this time.
Happy birthday, Charlotte.
I'll pass that message on for you.
No, you won't. You'll forget.
Yes.
We've got another 55 minutes of recording. You are going to forget.
I'll forget in 48 seconds. Let's not beat around the bush.
What bush? There's a bush. Where's there a bush?
I hate you so much. This week we've decided to talk about something that's probably more suitable for a couple of weeks ago, really. Well, I thought, thanks to a reminder from my dearest sister, that we would discuss childhood fears. Because everyone's got, there was the standard scared of the dark. Everyone's still scared of spiders, and if you're not scared of spiders, quite frankly, I don't trust you.
I quite like spiders.
I don't trust you. There we go. Checks out.
Math checks out.
Things.
Carry the 1 divided by 6, and yep, math checks out.
Are there any fears that you carried from childhood into adulthood, or any things that got worse rather than better as you got older?
No. When I hit about 16, 17, my fears just completely changed. I mean, I used to be scared of escalators. Didn't like escalators.
Okay. That's normal.
At one point I loved them, because when I was like, I don't know how old I was, probably like 7 or 8, I don't know, at some point, Mum took me to London to have a day trip in London and all that lot, and we went to the Science Museum and History Museum and all that lot. And when I got back, all I told anybody about was all the escalators that we rode. Mum was like, we could have gone to fucking Debenhams for that, we didn't need to go all the way to London. But apparently that was the bit I enjoyed, and I got really excited when the tube broke down.
Excited when the tube broke down. So
Yeah, 'cause
claustrophobia
it stopped,
was
all
never
the
a
lights
thing
went
for you.
dim. Nope, claustrophobia was never a thing. But no, there was nothing really major, except I just didn't really like escalators once I hit about 10 or 11 for some reason.
See, I feel like I was scared of a lot of things as a kid.
So now I have a phobia of needles, which is ridiculous because they give blood.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm scared of them, it's just if I look at them I pass out.
That's an odd one, yeah. There's a lot of people like that, though. I mean,
You just don't look at
not
it.
wanting to be stabbed by sharp objects is perfectly natural, though. Let's do that.
But no, I don't care for that. As I said, I give blood every 6 weeks.
No, I know, but it's like having that sort
But
of...
so it's just but if I see the needle go into me, instantly it's just like, no,
Yeah,
pass out, head on the
but
desk.
that's perfectly natural, I think, for your body to react that way to being stabbed. Because that's essentially what's happening.
It's not a great fight or flight instinct. It's like a fucking... what animals is it that do that? Just pass out when they get scared. Possums?
Yes. They play dead, is it?
Yeah, I'm basically a possum. I see a needle, I fall over.
So now you're a possum in
Yeah,
a
so
banana
like-
costume.
Yeah, when you give blood, you get a card.
I thought you were going to say
a
a
little
biscuit then, and I thought you were
do
going to
get a
say
biscuit as well.
that's why I give blood for the free biscuits.
No, but you get a little laminated sheet of saying like, because there's exercises you should do, like keep tensing your legs, tensing your ass, all that lot to get the blood flowing better.
Okay.
But I've done it so many times now, I've done it like 50 times now, that I don't need to read the card. So they give me the card, I instantly just hold it over my left arm. And what you do is like, if I look at the needle, I'll pass out. Just do the stabby thing and come take it out in like 10 minutes when the machine beeps.
Fair enough.
Because when you give blood, the machine beeps when enough blood's come out.
So,
But last,
to
not last
remind you
week, it was
there's
like
a
3
needle
times
in your
ago I
arm.
went. I'm aware the needle's in my arm, so you feel it. There's a bit of metal stuck in your arm. But like 3 or 4 times ago when I went, actually it might have been like March. No, I didn't do it over COVID. I don't know, it might have been like 2 years ago at this point, I've lost track of time. I got there, and they're not called nurse, they've got a special name for blood stealers, not vampires.
Damn it! Oh, for God's sake, you beat me to it.
There's a scientific name for it. But she was, oh, you've got really good veins. We've got a new... what is the word for them? Well, anyway, we've got a new girl in today. Do you mind if she practices on you? I'm like, yeah, alright, I don't care. I was watching The Chase. Whenever I give blood, it's always when The Chase is on for some weird reason. So I just sit there and watch The Chase. And she was just like, this girl was really nervous. It was the first time she'd ever done it to anyone alive, is how she worded it. I'm like, okay, don't use the word
I've
alive
used it- you see,
when stabbing me.
No, okay. Everything that you said here just leads me to believe vampires. So complimenting you on your veins, and then the new person never having tested on a live subject before.
Yeah.
This is how you get blood out of a
Well-
dead guy, but it's much easier when they're alive because it's being pumped around by the heart.
But I was just like, yeah, crack on. I'm just going to look the other way because I'll pass out if I look at the needle. She's like, okay. And then the other vampire was like, that's perfectly normal. Or quite a few people have that. And then I'm there and I'm like, ow. Okay, so it's in. She's like, oh, I've missed. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. She just started stabbing me. It was about 8-9 times. And so once she finally got it in and it was flowing away, obviously I don't look at my arm.
And then you looked like a heroin user.
Well, not only that, but so it was afterwards, they oh, we might have to get some more tissue. I looked down, my whole arm is just red. It's just pissed blood out everywhere because there were so many holes in me. And I was just like, just looking at it, as a little small puddle appeared on the floor, and I'm like, how did nobody notice this? Why didn't I notice this?
You gave more blood.
I know how much blood comes out of me normally, and I seem to have lost a lot more.
I was going to say you gave more blood than normal this time, but a lot of it went to waste.
But via the floor.
Just so if anyone needs a transfusion and you're in a bit of a pinch, nip round to James's house, wring out the carpet, you'll have plenty.
Don't do it at home.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why I made that assumption. It was at home.
Why would they
door to door.
No,
this is definitely vampires if they
to
came to your house. Were they just hovering around the door frame until you said, please come in? Because they just couldn't get across the threshold.
Well, they can't come on like Thursdays, because Thursdays when we tend to have pizza, so we have garlic bread, and they can't come in.
I see. So you gave blood on a Monday.
Yeah. But I normally do it on a Saturday after work. But yeah, you get biscuits when you finish, or crisps, depending where you go.
Depending whether you go
You're
to
not allowed a hot
Walker's
drink
or
on the first
McVitie's
time.
to give you blood.
You're not allowed a hot drink on the first time. I don't know why. You have to have like squash, but after that you can have hot drinks. Yeah, it's quite good. It only takes like about the whole appointment, especially the first couple of times, take about half hour. Now I can be in and out in like 15 minutes.
It's like speed running giving blood there.
Well, I got shit to do.
I know, but you could stream it, world record attempt at giving blood. For speed, of course, not for how much blood you can give. Just die live.
Randomly on that, actually, I happen to know this. I can't remember the exact number, but the guy who has the record for giving the most blood in the UK, how much do you reckon? How much blood has he given?
What do you give each
We'll
time?
like
Do you give like
figure.
a pint each time or something?
Pint, yeah.
Yeah, and I reckon you can only do it like
I do it every 6
realistic.
weeks, which
I was
is
going to say realistically,
minimum
like
distance.
I don't know, a lot, 100 pints.
It's like 1,300 pints the guy's given.
Wow, that's a lot of blood.
You say 100, I'm at like, I said 50, 60 already.
What is it? You have like how much blood do you have? Like 7 or 8 pints?
No, well, I'm not. Yeah, I think it depends on your size. I'm probably like 15, but
Okay, Bovril doesn't count, James.
I don't.
You're at least 10% Bovril, and I
don't like. I only like Bovril at football grounds.
There's a good portion of ketchup
why.
in there.
There's quite a lot of ketchup in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee. There's a lot of coffee.
Mine's Iron Brew.
A lot of nicotine.
My insides glow orange faintly if you turn all the lights off.
I'm starting to get addicted to Mountain Dew at the minute.
That's the most American thing you've ever said to me.
I might be a closet American because we were looking at cars the other day, like high performance cars, like over high value cars, so they're like over 100 grand. And so I went for my normal, like your McLaren, your Lamborghini, Ferrari, all that lot. And it was like, I think we did a 10 car garage where each car had to be over 100 grand. And one of them was a Ford Velociraptor, which is basically when they take a Ford pickup truck and put a stupidly powerful, like as powerful as a Lamborghini engine into it.
Oh.
Because they can. Because America.
I thought it was something like you put wings on it.
No. Velociraptors don't fly.
What am I thinking of? Pterodactyls.
Pterodactyl?
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Velociraptors are not
why
the flying
Why do you never hear
ones.
a pterodactyl go to the bathroom?
I don't know.
Because the P is silent.
I fucking hate you.
It's a great joke.
Yeah.
You're going to steal it now, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm going to bury my head under my desk and pretend you don't exist. Alright, moving backwards and sideways and then eventually forwards, hopefully. So you don't remember...
Back to the child fears.
You're back to what?
Back to your childhood fears.
Yeah. So you had do you remember anything from being a very young child? Because like fear of the dark is very common among children. Did you ever have it?
I don't remember what I did last week, mate.
I know, but some of these things stick with you, don't they? So like I wasn't
Obviously,
really.
again, I assume at one point I was scared of the dark, and I assumed there was monsters in the cupboard, but.
So do you not remember
nothing
actively
ever
thinking about
standing
any
out.
of those things?
No.
No, right? Because I have this one memory of
I
me.
don't actively think.
That's a good point. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed that. I have this memory. My brother and I used to share a room, and we had these tall beds. So it's like bunk beds, but without the bottom bunk. You know what I mean? So, and we kept most of our stuff underneath the beds. So the wardrobes was there, the PlayStation, etc.
I think it's called a cabin bed.
I don't know. It's a tall bed. We slept on tall beds, and I remember that I had because mine ran up to where the door was, so I had my pillows by the door, and most of the time the door would be shut, and there was this one time where the door was like sort of half open, and now the landing light was normally on, so it was never really a big deal. But there was one time when the door was half open but the landing light was off, so I could see that from the faint glow through the window, I could see that the door was open, and I could see into the dark hallway. And for some reason, I couldn't get out of my imagination that so like what I could see is there would be at the top of the stairs, and you turn right. That was where my bedroom was, but you could carry on, which would lead down a small step into the bathroom, and then another bedroom at the back of the house. And I could just see sort of the corner piece of wall as well, because the walls were painted white. You could see the definite cut off as well, where it would just disappear into shadow. And I could not escape the thought that I could see a hand on the wall, like reaching around the corner. And I know it's ridiculous, I couldn't see anything. But it was at that point that I moved my pillows to the other side of the bed to be like at a right angle, pressed up against my bed.
Change angle you see it from, that protects you.
Yeah, exactly. A right angle at the other end of the bed was where my brother's bed ran, so I moved my pillows up to his end to feel a bit safer, because my older brother, you see, older brothers protect you. Except my brother, if there was a hand there, he would have pushed me towards it to test whether it was there or not. But I remember, yeah, exactly. If I don't come back, it's not safe. He shuts the door. He saved himself. I'm an expendable resource, and I can respect that. But I had those sorts of thoughts quite a lot. Like I fancied that I saw things. I've always had a very stupidly active imagination. And when you're a kid, that sort of thing plays against you. The thoughts that something's there. So, the whole sort of thing, like you don't sleep with your legs out the cover because you're not protected. The monster can get you. That sort of thing. Like that lived very, very, very vividly with me until I was like 15, 16 years old. And it was not all the time, just occasionally. Because I'm more comfortable sleeping with one leg out the cover. Are you one of those?
I sort of sleep half and half.
Yeah, okay, so you can't be fully under the cover all the time because it's just too warm, right?
Too fucking hot.
Yeah, exactly, and that's how I sleep a lot of the time. But up until I was a young adult, it would be probably once a week.
You're not an adult.
No, okay, well, by legal definition, a young adult.
Right, okay, sorry, yeah.
I would very quickly snap my legs under the cover and stuff upon realization that it was out and that it was dark and it was quiet. And it's stupid, and I do it, and then instantly I'd be embarrassed and think, like, why have I done that? There's no reason to just not put my leg out the cover, but I still wouldn't put it back. You see, because you reach a point, right, especially when you're an odd child like me, and then an odd man like me, where
odd human.
Odd human. When you're an odd human like me,
odd humanoid.
Odd human shaped gelatinous being. You reach a point where you're old enough to know that the monster under the bed isn't real, but you're also old enough to know that if your leg's under the cover, it doesn't matter because he can't get you anyway.
He's not real, but I'll protect myself just in case.
It's just never. You've got to play the odds, haven't you? No one ever thinks it's going to happen till it does. You must have seen a horror film. Nobody suspects there's actually a monster. No one believes them. No one looks at the claw marks in the mattress and thinks, ha ha ha, best run away from the monster. They all think you're just a silly child. And then they get eaten and they die.
Even then, when it's adults in the horror films, they're like, oh, I'm scared, I'm going to go to bed. Well, just get out the house.
I know, that's a running theme in horror films. Never taking logical action. Going somewhere alone.
Stop going down into the dark room.
Yeah, like, oh no, the weird gurgling sounds from the basement. I know. I'll not put any shoes on. I'll not switch any lights on. And I'll go down on my own without telling anyone where I've gone. Even though there's 7 people.
I'll just take this one lone match which is slowly burning out. Even though we live in the 21st century and there's power.
Yeah, I'll do all those things. It's frustrating.
I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I'll carry on then since you can't remember.
Go on.
I was just going to transition the fears into adulthood. So, like, as a kid, we used to go on holiday a lot to France. And that would involve us... I know, yeah, it was very fancy, actually. And it would involve going to a lot of beaches, and we'd do a lot of swimming in the sea, things like that. There was one time I nearly drowned.
Damn, it was only nearly.
I know. We were this close to just being rid of me.
This close to getting rid of him.
I know. What happened was I was using my snorkel and goggles, and I was looking at stuff on the ocean floor. I wasn't like diving or anything. I was just floating around, looking down. But because I was just floating, I got carried away a little bit by the current, and I didn't get carried out to sea. I got carried like along the beach. So what I was doing was looking down, because it was crabs. You see, I was watching crabs. I was looking down, watching all these cool little animals doing the things, and every now and then I'd look up towards the beach just to check I could still see the same coloured towels. It was all you look for, isn't it? You know, that's my parents there. Yeah. That's it. Because it was about 6.
Well, that's my parents' blood.
Yeah, there was 6 or 7 families that we all went with. There was loads of us who used to go, and it was just a huge cluster of familiar faces and familiar colours, and that's all I'd look for. And I must have been looking down for a little bit longer than normally. I look up, I looked to my left, which was to the shoreline, and see complete strangers, and I think, oh my god, what's going on? At this point, the snorkel's still in my mouth, so I snap my head back to turn around to have a look, and then inhale a load of seawater. And then suddenly try to right myself, and then realise I can't touch the floor. The next thing I remember, one of the fellas who we went with, one of the dads of another family, was carrying me towards a towel, and I was sort of like drifting in and out of consciousness.
Oh, nice! You proper nearly killed yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Sure. I don't know whether I actually went unconscious or anything. The memory is very shaky. I must have been like 9 at the time or something like that. But I don't think I've ever fully had a conversation with anybody in my family about this event since it happened. Like I was just sort of left to sleep it off, and like, it'll be fine, it'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
I don't know whether like there was. It might not have been as bad as I remember it. Is probably the actual answer there, because surely it would be like, remember the time you nearly died in the sea? You're not afraid of water anymore. But it never made me afraid of water. What made me afraid of water was playing video games and all the stupid sea creatures that could eat you.
The Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken is a.
I remember a fear actually I used to have. I used to be scared of octopus.
Okay.
Octopi.
Is that because of the Kraken?
Squid. No, it's because of the the lake monster in Lord of the Rings.
Ah, the Watcher in the Water.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Now they said, but that's the stuff with this, the stuff. Then I'm losing my words and I'm getting excited. This is what happens. I trip over my own thoughts.
You get excited about the talking of your nearly early, untimely death.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, we all look for death's sweet embrace, don't we? I just might as well get pumped about it. You know, it's going to happen eventually. Get excited. No,
just get it out of the way.
Yeah, just get it dealt with and done with. Then you can live your life once you're dead.
Yeah, I can't be asked waiting around for this. Just do it now.
Well, it's just 40 more years of paying tax, and then we die. Come on, that should be a fear.
Well, there are only two things guaranteed. Wait, no. Yeah, there are 2 things you're guaranteed in life.
Death is one.
Death and taxes.
Death and taxes. Okay, yeah, sure. Where were we going with that before we? Oh yeah, that's the Watcher in the Water. So the problem with underwater stuff is that they are plausible and possible.
Because you can't see.
Yeah, we can't see that far down in the ocean. We can't cover that properly. We can't tell what's there. Anything can live down there.
Well, we can. We have been down there.
Yeah, but not enough to know. You know what I mean? It's not like.
I mean, obviously, man has been down to the deepest parts of the sea. Randomly, you know the director James Cameron?
Nope.
Oh God, I've got to think films James Cameron's done now, haven't I?
I've probably never seen them.
I think he's done Avatar.
I'd never seen Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar, Titanic.
Oh, I saw
Terminator.
I saw Titanic.
Alien. Quite a big, famous director. He's been down there. He's one of the few people that took something down to the bottom of Challenger Deep, which is the deepest part of the ocean.
Did he see a Kraken?
In the Mariana Trench. Is he a Kraken? I don't know. He might be.
Just how big do giant squids get, James?
I don't know. Giant size.
Yeah, but like giant size, like eat a ship size, or?
I don't think they're that big.
Because I'm not sure. I think they. Ooh. I'm not going swimming in the sea again, but I don't mind drowning. That was quite peaceful. What I do mind.
The maximum length of an examined species is about 13 meters.
That's fucking big, though.
Yeah, but that's not ship killing big.
No, but it's like swallow a lifeboat.
Kayak.
Yeah, kayak killing kraken.
Even a lifeboat. It's not swallowing a lifeboat, mate.
No, but it could sink one if it tried.
Maybe.
If it tried. If it really wanted to.
I don't think you click just how hard to sink lifeboats.
No, I just don't think you realise how many guns a squid can use at one time.
8.
It could probably use more.
Well, no, it's probably more like 4 because he's got to reload as well, so he needs the second hand to reload. Remember, you should always use long firearms with 2 hands, but if you're using pistols, you could probably do 8.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think about reloading. Fuck you, squid. You can only shoot me with 4 guns. No longer afraid.
But then
Thank
it could also be 4 rocket launchers.
It could, well, yeah. That could sink a lifeboat. 4 rocket launchers. This is a bizarre conversation, James.
Getting more afraid again. Would you like to know the reason that I never snorkel?
Yes.
Can't do it.
You can't do it.
Forget. I forget I'm snorkeling, swim further down, drown.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a danger.
I'll snorkel along.
I practiced in a swimming pool before I did it in the sea.
I'll go on holiday and be like, snorkeling, that sounds like a good idea. And I'll be doing 2 minutes and I go, oh, look at that.
Isn't that what you do at a buffet as well? Isn't it the exact same sounds? Oh, look at that.
That's more than that. Just licked my microphone.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I got a bit too close.
Yeah, you do that a lot, according to some people who know you.
Not get too close to them or lick them.
Both.
Or both.
Both. Well, one would lead to the other, surely. Like, if you've licked someone, you've got too close to them.
Not I have a really long tongue.
No, I don't want to think about that.
It's about 8 foot. Children skip on it on the street.
Speaking of children being a child and fears, now the reason I brought up childhood fears was my sister brought up one of the many things that scared me. Okay, I'm going to tell you in a very roundabout fashion, because first of all I'm going to start with something else that I was very, very scared of as a child. Now, the very first Metal Gear Solid game that came out. What?
Exercise.
Well, yeah, that too, but I mean, exercise scares me more than heart conditions do. Sorry, just 1 second, James. I'm being disturbed.
No, I want them to know.
Oh, great. You know I'm able to do fucking anything.
What?
Who thinks that you should get me this dog? Remember him, the blind one?
We're not getting a blind dog.
Don't be tight. Ask.
Sorry, did Charlotte interrupt the podcast for a blind dog?
Charlotte, this is a podcast, not a live stream. Nobody can answer you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Ask James.
James, do you think we should get a blind dog?
Yes.
James says yes, but we're not getting a fucking blind dog. I don't give a shit. Thank you for just giving James editing work to do.
Okay.
I might just leave it in the podcast.
Yeah, no, he needs a home, but he's not coming here.
He's blind. He needs a home.
I didn't make him blind.
You no longer have a menagerie, so you need a menagerie.
We've got 2 guinea pigs. That's plenty.
That's not a menagerie. That's a duo.
Where the hell was I?
Something about the story be going in a roundabout way.
What story?
The one that I don't want to say the title of because it might ruin it.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah. All right.
Go.
So I wanted to start with something else I was incredibly scared of. When the first Metal Gear Solid game came out on a demo for PlayStation, me and my brother and my sister tried to play it, but we weren't very good at it. And it was the one and only time that I ever remember my mum playing video games, because she played the Metal Gear Solid demo. Now, that noise when a guard sees you, the typical Metal Gear Solid noise, followed by the racy music, used to terrify me. It's like the 3 of us would be sat there watching her play, and then when a guard would spot her and go, and then the music starts playing, I'd scream and run into the hallway. It just terrified me that much. And it was like more of an adrenaline terrified. It wasn't like a phobia or anything like that. I didn't think anything was going to happen to me. It just, it had the right effect on me, because when you're playing the game, you're supposed to run away from the guards. So, bravo for correct game development.
That's why I'm no good at Metal Gear Solid games.
You what, sorry?
That's why I'm no good at Metal Gear Solid games.
Because you panic Or you don't run away?
I don't do stealthy.
Oh, no, I'm very bad at stealth as well. Now, this was coupled with this story one time, because after about 4 or 5 nights of watching my mum play this, I think it was, I don't know, I might be misremembering time scales and things like that. I've never been very good at it. This one specific time, though, I was very riled up from the events of the day, and I was going to bed on a bit of an adrenaline high, and I was very tense and things like that, and I pulled back my cover to find a piece of paper on the mattress that said, "Give me back my hairy toe," and I shit my pants. Like, I screamed, I hit the bloody roof. I was absolutely mortified. Now, "Give me back my hairy toe" as a statement on its own means bollocks all. Nobody knows what that means.
Doesn't seem that scary.
No, it doesn't seem that scary at all. No. Now, I'll put it into context for you. Now, just keep in mind what I said about me being a stupidly imaginative child, and these things sort of vividly play into reality when I'm tired and things like that.
Keep in mind what you said about you being a stupid child.
Yes, I'm a stupid child. I am a stupid child. And right, I'll just, you know what I'll do? I'll give you a brief overview of the story that it's related to. The story is called The Hairy Toe. I won't read it out because I do believe that it's copyrighted. But
yes, because we're going to get struck. We can't monetize the podcast anyway. It's fine. Read it out.
No, mostly because, you know, it's not that long actually. It's probably less than 200 words, but whatever. Anyway,
you could probably read it in this time.
All right, fine. I'll read it to you. I hope you're ready because I'm going to have nightmares now.
Good.
Okay. Once there was a woman who went out to pick beans, and she found a hairy toe. She took the hairy toe home with her, and that night when she went to bed, the wind began to moan and groan away in the distance. She seemed to hear a voice crying, "Where's my hairy toe, toe? Who's got my hairy toe, toe?" The woman scrooched down way under the covers, and about that time the wind appeared to hit the house. Swoosh! Then the whole house creaked and cracked, like something was trying to get in. The voice had come nearer, almost at the door now, when it said, "Where's my hairy toe, toe? Who's got my hairy toe?" The woman scrooched further under the covers and pulled them tight around her head. The wind growled around the house like some big animal and rumbled over the chimney. All at once she heard the door crack, and something slipped in, began to creep over the floor. The floor went creak, creak, at every step that thing took towards her bed. The woman could almost feel it bending over her bed, when an awful voice said, "Where's my hairy toe? You've got it!" Now that story absolutely petrified me as a child.
What the hell is that?
What do you mean, what the hell is
Why
that?
is there a hairy toe?
It doesn't matter. It belongs to the big fucking monster that followed her home, broke into a house, and found her bedroom. Now that story genuinely, like, mortified me. It sent me into fits of tears. You'll have to ask my siblings how old I was for that. I don't know. But yeah.
So, which sibling put the loot under your bed?
I don't know. Either.
You still don't know to this
It
day?
was probably, well, it doesn't matter. It was probably a combination of the two of them, because they used to just take such pleasure in how much it scared me.
But say, who's more evil out of the two of them?
Yes.
They're both evil, or neither evil?
Yes, they're both evil. Well, it depends what you like. Depends on your view of evil, because what they did was just a funny joke, really, you know. And
in your opinion, in Little Pete's mind, were they evil?
no. Well, they were
Was
at the
that joke
time.
evil?
The joke was evil at the time. Yeah, I felt so. Anyway, I felt very, very hard done by. But that sort
The
of.
question is, did you ever do anything back to them?
I don't know. Maybe I am a petty and vindictive individual, but only in my own head. I don't really take much action on it.
I'm like that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking get you.
Yeah, I
I
will say things to myself, not to anybody else, and I will say I will do things to myself, and then they will never happen. So I don't know. Maybe I did.
See,
You'd have to ask them.
The thing I picked out the most from that story, how good was it getting demos on a disc?
It was really good, actually. I think that was the same
like-
demo disc that had Ghost in the Shell on it.
Ghost in the Shell was a good game. But I can remember like walking through Sainsbury's or whatever supermarket we were in, and wanting to walk down the magazine aisle to see what all the different companies had as their demo that month, just to convince Mum to get it because, well, half the time I never ended up getting the game because I was at the age where playing the demo, because the demos quite often they were like 20 minutes long, weren't they? Some of them.
Yeah, they were never very extensive.
There was a fairly good length to it compared to some things you see these days. There's not much in the way of a demo anymore like that.
No.
But if they give you one these days, it'd be 3 seconds of, or 2-3 minutes of edited gameplay, so it doesn't give the story away or anything like that, just to see how the game plays, and that's it. But no, it used to just give you like a chunk in either the middle or quite often you do like 10 minutes at the start, and then it would jump you to halfway through, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
so you'd get tutorial and content.
Yeah, the Abe's Exodus demo was good for that, actually, because it gave you almost the entire first section to do.
Yeah, so you could actually play the game and experience it and go, you know what, I actually like this game, I want to buy it.
Nowadays,
Or,
demos
I don't
tend to
really
just
fancy
lock
this.
stuff behind a paywall, which in fairness is quite a clever way to do things. So it'll get you to your first cliffhanger, and then it'll say, to continue, you have to buy the game, you prick. Which is quite an
Do they still
abusive
do
way.
demos?
You can get loads of demos on Steam. If you have a look through the game library, you can install a demo on
Looks,
lots
to
of
be honest.
things.
I've got so many games on Steam. I bet they probably do it more on console as well, actually.
Yes, there's a demo section on the Xbox Marketplace, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I assume PSN's got a similar thing where you could demo games.
Yeah. Demos are
It's a more
fantastic.
console thing than a PC thing.
Demos
isn't
are a great way of trying things. Like, they're much better than free trials of games, things like that.
it? Yeah, because free trials or free versions are just they're just not the same. Whereas, before, as we were saying, back in, fucking 20 years ago, we're talking now, aren't we? The demo was just a chunk of the game.
Hey, do you think there's
Whereas
a
nowadays it's a modified version and shit. Ugh.
do you think there's a connection with the decreasing quality of games these days? Because let's be honest, whilst they look better, they're all
Oh no, they're all shit.
they're all shit. They all look the same.
I can't
They
think
all
of the
play the
last
same.
decent game that came out.
No, the only games that are actually like good, as in, I don't know what I'm using to quantify good here, but I'm going to take the Assassin's Creed
Yeah, but it's
series.
still just the same as
Yeah,
it has
but that's
been
but
fucking the last
I know,
5 games.
but that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like the games are all exactly the same. They're all, reasonably well crafted gameplay with nicely paced set pieces in between, and it's got
It's just good story is what sells them.
yeah, but they also have that sort of repetitive gameplay loop. The collectibles, the liberations, or whatever you want to call them this time, whatever it is, the side missions,
The Eagle's Nest.
yeah,
and all
that sort of thing. When it all plays quite smoothly, and it's like very processed, but it's also very, very functional, which means that it's good.
See, me and
Because
Assassin's Creed is I played like the first 1, 2, Brotherhood, 3, and absolutely loved them, and Revelations, and then I started playing Black Flag, but fell out of love with that. And now what I do is I'll skip like 2 or 3, play it so you get like the new version basically, and then skip the next 2 because they're just reskins of that one, and then play the third one after, sort of thing. Like I played Origins, which is the Egyptian one.
I'm not very up to date. I think Origins is the Egyptian one.
I think that's Origins. I played that one, but then I played Valhalla because I knew it was a complete new engine and style change pretty much. But whatever the next one is, I'm probably not going to play because it's just going to be Valhalla set in, I don't know, fucking Japan or whatever.
Yes, Japan seems like the most likely one. I don't
Nobody
know. I've
expected
not.
fucking Vikings, but that worked really well.
They should have expected Vikings. They've been a hot topic for a
Really?
while now.
You'd expect Vikings in Assassin's Creed, though. It doesn't lead to assassins. It's more blood-curdling barbarians.
Well, no, but they
isn't it?
also had pirates in Black Flag that weren't really assassins either. So
No, I suppose they made it work quite well. They are very good at that. Just trying to, when we have this conversation, I was just trying to think of original good games that are something different. And the only 2 I can think of, one's not actually that different, but it's just because it's the first time I played it, was Stardew.
yeah,
Obviously, that's very similar to Harvest Moon, apparently, but I've never played Harvest Moon. The other one is Rimworld.
Rimworld is a sort of an amalgamation of a lot of things, isn't it?
Yeah, but
that's
as
how you
it
make new
is,
things, really, isn't it? You bash old things together.
You bash old things, polish it off a little bit, mix it all in a blender, and take the cream off the top and ship it out to the masses. Which is what they did with Rimworld, and it's a good game. I've just realised my desk is splitting in half.
That's
Like, it's got wet at some point, it's expanding.
That's very nice.
That's less than ideal. So I got distracted by broken things. It's not ideal. My desk's falling apart.
Oh well, maybe you can buy a new one with all the money we make from our podcast.
I'm going to build a new one.
Oh,
That's my
very
plan.
nice. Okay, Mr. Handyman
I'm
over
going
there.
to build it and put my computer into the desk.
Gonna build it and make Mexico pay for it.
Yeah. But no, I want it so you get like a clear top and have all the computer components inside it, so the desk is your computer.
Okay, so on that note, I'm going to drag our two main themes together now. So we've had fears and we've had our usual ramble about video games because that's all we do. And I'm going to drag at the one time. So fear involving my siblings and video games. I'm going to drag the time that I asked my sister to help me play a game because I was scared of it. And keep in mind for this one, I must have been
I've done that a couple of times.
14 or 15 years old. So I wasn't young. You know, it's like beyond the point where I should be reasonably afraid of video games, especially when I tell you what game it was. I was playing Half-Life 2.
Don't know, never played it.
I know you never played a Half-Life, so that's fine.
It is an embarrassment.
Well, you play it first and then to decide. Okay, Half-Life's got creepy
The
overtones.
fact I haven't played it is the embarrassment, is what I meant.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, me being scared of it is something of an embarrassment at the age it was. But, I mean, it's got creepy tones to it. There are specific parts of the game designed to be really, really fucking creepy. So there's this one specific place called Ravenholm, and the name of the chapter is We Don't Go to Ravenholm. And the reason you don't go to Ravenholm is because everybody's dead and all it is zombies. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't played it.
You can't give a spoiler warning on Half-Life 2.
I can give a spoiler warning on whatever the fuck I want.
The joke of Half-Life 3 coming out is getting to the point where it's an old joke. That's been running around.
What do you mean,
for like
getting
15
to the
years now.
point? It's definitely an old joke.
True. So it's the fact that Half-Life 2 has been out. When did Half-Life 2 come out? Fucking
2004
2000s?
or 2003?
Half-Life 2 was released 2004.
2004. It's not a guess. It was around the time I remember. So it's me when my Counter-Strike Source addiction started. But yeah, I was playing Half-Life 2, and it's got some creepy parts, like where you're in like broken buildings with no power, and you're just running off your torchlight, and it's designed to be sort of semi-jump scary sort of thing. But there was this point where I'm making my way through this apartment building, and there was nothing around other than like the sounds of your footsteps, your flashlight, which has to go off occasionally to recharge, which is a pretty horrible mechanic when you're afraid of the dark. And I ended up just being in like this very narrow series of hallways. And I asked my sister to sit next to me and tell me what was around the corner while I pressed the keys. Well, I didn't look at the screen because I was just so.
Wouldn't just give her the controller?
Well, it was on PC, so I'd have to let her sit in the chair with the keyboard, and it was my hour on the computer, so I'm going to control it whether I'm looking or not.
Is your sister older or younger than you?
She's younger than me, so I had my 12-year-old sister sit next to me and tell me what was around the corner because I was too afraid to look. And it turns out, for every time she did it, there was nothing there as well. So I didn't
One time
even.
she didn't help you.
Yeah, any times that nobody was there was the scary bits, which is what when a bully keeps hitting you until eventually all you have to do is make it look like they're going to hit you and you flinch, and then they go, "I'm not going to hit you. What are you doing?" That's what the game had done to me at that point. It had put so many things round corners to me that all I had to do then was look at a corner and think, "Oh shit, here we go." So yeah, that's
the game.
That's me and fear, and I have this suspicion, you see, that my brother and sister think I'm too embarrassed to tell these stories, but I'm not at all. I have absolutely no shame of it.
The game that scared me, that really shouldn't have, but I still not played it to this day. But I've watched you play it, so it counts. Is BioShock.
That is pretty creepy, to be fair.
Nope. Just too creepy. Nope.
It's creepy,
Not
and
a
it's
fan of jump scares any games anyway. I do jump scare really easily. I managed to force myself through Alien because it's just a great game.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's not. I dispute that
It
wholeheartedly. And not just because I don't
is.
like jump scares. I dispute the fact that it's a good game at all. It is so poorly paced.
Nowadays, it's becoming dated.
But I don't mind that. I
but
play old games
that's
all the
Alien.
time. It's so poorly
Alien's-
paced.
Alien is supposed to be paced like that.
Well, it's
That's why
shit.
the films are paced.
Well, that's shit as well then, if that's how that's paced, because that's bad
It's
pacing.
sort of- It's everything, nothing, everything, nothing, everything, nothing. So you have no idea whether, when you whatever comes next, is it going to be a nice, calm, random bit, or is she going to get a fucking stapler through the leg? You just don't know what's coming. There's no way to predict it when you first watch through the Alien films because the pace is just here, there, and everywhere. But it all mashes together to make a really good story, which is what the game does.
No, the
Especially
game
not
doesn't
something
mash together
completed.
to make a good story. The game mashes together
You
to
only
make
played
itself
it for like an
annoying.
hour.
I played it for like 6 hours actually, and it's
How did you not finish it? It's not that long a game.
mostly because I was playing up for the audience on the stream. But
Oh, okay.
but yeah,
So I remember you watching it, you didn't get that far into it. You'd seen the Xenomorph, but I don't think you got much further than that.
I got quite far in. I think I was at least at the halfway point, but it goes out of its way to make itself annoying and difficult to play, which I know is a sort of survival aspect of things, but
See,
I
the
get
game
the I get the
I
point.
do get where you're coming from. That it does seem a bit forced almost, and you'll notice that when you play it all the way through, you end up going to the same place like 8 different times for different things.
Yeah, I can't
But
be bothered with
that
that
was
either.
more limitation on map design. There was only so much space they could fit into it because they put so much effort into the audio side of it. I happen to know that because I can't remember what it is because it was released on. It'd have been CD probably, not even DVD. And there was only so much limit to what you could put into them. I think it was 2-disc install anyway, and people never used to like those, did they? And yeah, there was a limit to the point where this is only so much we can put in, and they focused more on the audio and the cinematic side of it rather than the gameplay side of it.
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a problem with that. First of all, you're playing a game, so if you don't put as much focus into the gameplay side of things, then you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot with regards to game
But
design.
then
But this
I
game
quite
is
like
but
games
the game
like
is
that.
widely acclaimed, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't like it. But if anyone was to ask me my opinion, having experienced some of the game, sure, I've not played it all the way through, and I definitely haven't played it all the different ways you can play it. But I don't feel any desire to, and it's because certain things really irk me about it, especially when it comes to their attempts at enemy variety, which
There's only 2 enemies. There's no enemy variety. There's 2 types.
well, there's the alien, there's occasionally people, and then there's
I
the
forgot to people, actually, there's 3 type, and then the assistants.
yeah,
So-
the cyborg things, yeah. But they all have to be
I
dealt
know
with in
it's-
exactly the same way, because defending yourself is basically frowned upon. So the cyborgs are very, very difficult to kill if you can kill them at all. The people are
No,
less
you save
difficult.
at the end with a wrench.
Is that what you do? I don't know. The people are difficult to kill only because killing one alerts the rest. So you're forced
Which is
into
quite
using,
realistic.
which is quite realistic, yeah. But from a gameplay perspective, I'm not playing a game for realistic, am I? If I want realistic, I'll go outside and fuck that.
Yeah, but you can't shoot people outside, Pete.
I don't want to shoot people outside. So
You want to shoot people in the game, though.
the problem that you have
The thing
there
is, as
with your
well,
game
is
variety, no,
they-
shut up to cutting me off, I'm not done yet, is that you are presented with enemy variety, which I put in air quotes, but you can't see. But you are forced almost to deal with them in exactly the same way. So what's the point in the enemy variety? Which I suspect, upon reflection, is to make the appearance of the alien a bit more rare, to make you a bit more scared of it.
Yes.
But the end result is almost exactly the same every time. So what's the point in
But-
making that rare as well?
The thing is a big one. You can play that game. I think you've only got to fire like 3-4 shots or bursts of the flamethrower.
Yeah.
That's what the game. I think that's what the game was designed for. That's what they tried to force people into. But it does pigeonhole you a bit to the point it gets very repetitive. I will give you that. If you don't get invested in the story, I can imagine this is an extremely boring game, which I think is what your problem. You couldn't get into the story, so it just felt very didn't it?
Yeah, because the people around me were the odd friendly person you meet was no motivating factor. Like the character I'm playing, I don't know anything about them. I'm thrust into this incident straight away, and that probably suffers from being a movie tie-in. You know, I would have more investment in it if I'd seen it.
If you've seen the films and you get it and you understand which Ripley it is, it makes it a lot better. It does. The thing about the game that made it really good is it doesn't follow the film.
No,
Obviously it's based on the first film. It's her daughter, so it's almost like a sequel, but you play through it rather than watching it, which is why after watching Alien and then playing the game made it so good, because it's like continuing the film.
yeah.
Continuing the series, shall we say? It's not a follow-on from the film. Obviously, it's not a direct sequel, but it's all
Well, that's
the
to
same
its credit.
universe.
One thing that's really good about movie tie-ins, or the good ones, I should say, is when they don't follow the film, when they put their own spin on it, or feed from it rather than just.
For argument's sake, Fallen Order, which is the newest Star Wars game.
Yeah,
That
I've
is
never
a really
played that
good game, but it's a really good game, and it follows all the Star Wars universe and all that lot. But it's not in the films. It's none of that sort of thing. I think a couple of the characters are in the films.
Yeah.
And bits tie in together and all that lot, but its side characters may appear from the films. May appear. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played through it, but it's just a loosely based on a film. Or loosely based on the film universe, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like something like
Which
Shadow
is
of Mordor is good at that as well.
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor's good.
It
for
puts
that.
just
So
enough familiar
I would-
faces in there for people to go, yeah. But it's essentially telling
then-
its own story.
It puts enough in there, which is what Alien does if you understand the story. It puts enough in there for you to remember where you are and want to get invested in the story, because you know the films are a good story. So if you get invested in the game, it's probably going to be a good story. And from that point, again, we'll go with Alien or Shadow of Mordor or Fallen Order. They hold you because the film's done that first step for you, hasn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to make you a very half-assed promise.
You'll watch the film and then play Alien?
Well, I will watch the film and I will see if it makes me want to play it again.
I don't think it will now, because it's such an old film. It's only good because of the nostalgia factor, but do it anyway.
Okay, I'll
Alien
do it
is a
anyway.
great film.
I go back and watch and experience old media all the time. I can experience it for what it is. You know, I'm not gonna just sit there and say, well, it's old and the effects are shit. You know what I mean? I can put myself backwards in time and see what they were doing, what was available, things like that. So I'm not going to judge it as a spoiled snob.
But then, when you say you go back a bit and all that lot, how far back do you think Alien is?
90s
I
maybe.
just googled to confirm this. 79.
Oh really? Oh wow. Okay.
It's a 42-year-old film now.
Oh, I didn't know it was the 70s at all. I thought it was like early 90s or something.
No.
I can go that far back. It should be fine.
Yeah, just going into it, remember they are that old.
I had absolutely no idea that's how old they were.
That's one of the things that, because I can remember watching it when I was young. I watched it a lot. I was probably like 6 or 7 when I watched Alien, which is probably why I didn't have that many fears as a childhood, because I was watching films like this.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely have been
My
afraid
biggest
of
fear was
stuff like
probably
that.
potentially being. My biggest fear was probably potentially being a xenomorph, but they're not real, so I didn't actually suffer from the fear that much because I knew they weren't real.
You don't know whether they're real or not.
They've not yet come to this earth.
You don't know that either.
No one's been eaten.
You don't know. Not that you know of, James. It's impossible to know
It
everything.
would be in the news.
No, it wouldn't. They wouldn't put shit like that in the news. No way. No
Go for
way
the
would
Predator
they.
film.
No way would
If
they
you go to
cause
Predator when they-
widespread panic like that if that actually happened. That would be kept under lock and key, and anybody who even tried to leak it would be killed.
It would hit YouTube in 8 seconds.
No, it wouldn't.
It would.
No,
It would.
no.
For argument's sake, this bombing that happened in Liverpool, there were videos on YouTube before the news companies got
That's
it.
totally different.
So if there was a mass attack by a
Not a mass attack.
crazy... Alright, but if you go for
Just
the
an
Predator
isolated-
film, it destroys a whole...
I'm not
For
talking
the
about a
Predator,
Predator.
film, it destroys a whole... It's the same sort of thing.
No,
So
I'm not
Alien,
talking about Predator. The
They've
Predator.
got tie-in films.
The Predator would make mass destruction. If there was one xenomorph loose somewhere, it would be somewhere fairly quiet, and it would be dispatching people quite
How
quietly.
do you know? Xenomorphs might like hospitals and kill everybody inside. That would hit the news.
That would hit the news, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
But then it's never just one, because they lay eggs and make 18 million, and then we all get eaten.
That's how I want to go.
What, eaten by a xenomorph?
Yeah, at least I might be useful to a superior race then.
What, turned into an egg sac to feed a
As
young?
if I'm just going to be an incubator, that's still something.
See, women can do that and we can't.
I know.
They're already better than us.
They are far better than us in every aspect, James. We're fucking useless. You know what?
We have
Actually,
some
you know,
perks.
we had a
We
discussion.
can pee standing up better than they can.
Well, we can pee more accurately standing up better than they can. Not
Okay, yeah, fine.
That's all. That's about all we can say. And even then,
Or you ask most women, it's not accurate. It's all over the seat.
well, exactly. It's still
Some
more
women,
accurate
not
than
most
they'd
women.
be.
Sorry, no blanket statements.
Yes, of course.
Good podcast.
Sorry, I just wanted to touch upon the fact that in one of the Discord servers I'm in the other night, we had a visual representation, if you will, of, you know, the meme of like, I bet he's thinking of other girls.
Yeah.
And it's something stupid. There was a 3.5 hour long discussion on world flags.
What?
Yeah, world flags, and you know all the weird stuff. Like, we found a flag with 3 eagles on it. Like, who uses
There's like the flag of.
who uses 3 eagles on a flag? Like, what are you doing?
Is it the flag of Nepal, which isn't flag shaped?
No, it's not that one. But the problem is that
No, but I'm saying,
everyone
but
was,
you're saying rules. The flag of Nepal isn't flag shaped
how can you not be flag shaped?
because it's not rectangular. It's like 2 triangles.
That's fine. It's still a flag.
It's not flag shaped though.
What? No. Okay. The flag is square shaped. The flag isn't flag
it's
shaped
not.
or rectangle shaped. Sorry, whatever it is.
No, it's not. Oh, no, the flag of Nepal.
flags-
Is not.
no,
You're saying
flags
about
are.
weird flags. I'm saying my weird flag thing is the fact that the Nepal flag's not a flag shape.
Well, it is a flag shape. That is the flag's shape. Most flags are rectangular shaped.
It's not a standard flag shape.
Right. Well, you need to write to Nepal and tell them how appalled you are.
Oh my god! And you were judging my joke at the start.
Yeah, but I can still make bad jokes, whether I judge yours or not.
Is it because you have a kid? So you're allowed to make dad jokes? And I'm not.
I don't know how long I'm allowed to play that card for.
Are you gatekeeping dad jokes?
No.
I'm being gatekept.
I just said,
Gatekept?
yes, you are being gatekept. That's a phrase now.
Is that the correct?
Help! I'm
Phrasing
being
of that?
oppressed.
Some people pretty much do that.
What, oppress you?
No, on the internet saying, "Help! I'm being oppressed.
Oh,
I
right.
need attention."
Oh,
Back off.
right. Oh, I don't know. I don't spend enough time. I do spend time on the internet, but not in like general public posting places. So you won't find me on Facebook. You won't find me on Instagram. You won't find me on Twitter. Anywhere where public discussion can be had, except YouTube.
But you will find
but,
us on Twitter on @words at our mouths. I think is our Twitter handle. I don't know. It's on the
at our
screen.
mouths.
Why have I done this? I made myself have to do fucking editing.
Let's just
again.
make even more. You know, you can also find us on YouTube.
I did not accidentally leave channel in the
Is that what that
Discord
noise was then? Okay.
Yes. I was trying to make a note of when I have to put that editing in, and I fucking left the channel.
Okay. I thought someone joined and then panicked.
But I'm still deciding. I really don't want to clean or cut out bits of the audio that are stupid. Like, I'm going to leave Charlotte visiting you, and I'm going to leave me accidentally leaving the Discord channel because I like it.
It's like a nice organic feel to the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. As people can see, we're not structured, we're not organised, we are just 2 idiots chatting crap randomly using words from our mouths.
See, we've come full circle. We do it every time.
I should have ended it there, shouldn't I?
We should have done. We've got about 6 minutes
That
left.
would have been
yeah.
a good ending. We're just about on time and everything.
You knobhead. Now I've got to fill 6 minutes with something. So,
Why 6 minutes?
because that's how long we've got until we hit the hour mark, which is so arbitrary. It doesn't have to be an hour, but I
Can
like
you
it.
not tell the time? I've got a 59-minute recording.
Yeah, but we spent like 2.5 minutes. That's still.
Alright, that's still not 6.
No, but we run over a
We
little
spent about
bit.
a minute rabbiting before we started.
Is this conversation staying in the podcast?
Yes, this conversation is staying in the podcast. I just said it's organic and I'm not editing it.
Okay, so whilst we're here, if anyone's still listening and you're able to throw a message at us or comment, or so if you're on YouTube, drop in the comment section. Head over to one of the social media pages. We do exist on Facebook and Twitter. I don't know about any of the other ones.
Oh, we do exist on Facebook. I forgot that.
I'd like some feedback on this sort of ramble towards the end of the podcast. Should we have cut it out? Or is this the reason you're listening? Because you've just wasted nearly an
Should we
hour
have
of your
cut it
life.
out? I'm the editor. I'm the editor-in-chief. I would have had to cut it out.
See, when
And
I was the
can't edit,
editor,
which is why
you
it stays
still
in.
used we.
Yes, because when it's you, I claim ownership, and when it's me, I claim ownership.
Of course, yeah. And
It's like when the Scottish do something good, they're British, but when they do something bad, they're Scottish.
well, I think the Scottish just regard themselves as the Scottish no matter what. But
It's like Andy Murray. When Andy Murray's winning, he's a British tennis player. When he gets knocked out in the first round, Scottish Andy Murray is eliminated from Wimbledon.
just be angry at the Scots again. Just the entire of England shaking the fist. Now, anybody listening to my end of the podcast here might hear the guinea pig squeaking. I do apologise for that. Charlotte went and opened the fridge. That's where their veg is kept, and they see that and they squeak.
Vegetables!
Yeah, if only I was like that with vegetables. I
Said
just...
no gamer ever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Words From Our Mouths, and that last 2 minutes or so was definitely just Words From Our Mouths, along with the first 40-odd minutes as well, actually. Don't forget to...
So you implying we had like 10 minutes of good content, or you just bad at math?
we probably had about 10 minutes worth listening to, I'd say. If you're still here, if you are still here, it was about Hairy Toe. If you're still here, go and find us on the social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Are we on Instagram?
We don't have Instagram.
You said we had an Instagram
I'm not
last
doing
time.
Instagram. I thought we did. We don't. I'm not starting.
Right, okay. I'm sure it was my job to start one up.
I think
but
we
never
may
did.
have one, and we have the name just in case.
Oh, right,
so no one
okay.
steals it when we get famous. But I'm not using Instagram.
So no one steals it when we get famous. All right. Find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Aim high.
Am I high? No.
No, aim high. I said.
Oh, aim high. Right. I thought you were asking if I was high, and I got like self-conscious and paranoid. No, you're high.
Am I high? Stop high. You're high.
I don't know what you're talking about, officer.
Twitter, Facebook. We have a Discord. That link will be in the description, not in the video, because you can't click it if it's in the video. Obviously, we have the YouTube, put it on the YouTube. You can download it on Spotify. That looks good for us.
And you find us in
Download
all
it
your
on
regular
Apple.
podcast places. So if you've stumbled upon us on YouTube and you think, oh, this would be nice if it was in where a normal game of podcasts, we're probably there.
If we're not, let us know and I'll put us there. But we should be there.
Well, goodbye.